Good morning, today 19 on the AT. We left Muskrat Shelter and we are headed into North Carolina. It looks like the terrain may be a little bit more forgiving than it was yesterday in North Carolina. North Carolina decided it was going to smack us right in the face with some extreme elevation, and it was like 700 feet elevation in less than a mile. Is a lot. But we made it to the highest point on trail so far, which was 4,665 feet above sea level, which was about 200 feet higher than Blood Mountain, which was the highest point on trail in Georgia. So we'll see what else North Carolina has for us. We'll take some videos as we walk down trail, but it's supposed to be a really nice day. Not much going on. We still haven't been able to leave camp early. It just takes a while to get juice in the joints and your muscles moving and things to stop aching. So by the time we break down camp and have breakfast and use the bathroom for the second time, it's usually closer to 10 o'clock before we leave, but we'll see how far we're going today. So we're through a tunnel of green again, but lots of green tunnels here. Signs of spring pretty much coming up just about everywhere. I don't take a picture of every flower that we see, but there's some white flowers and purple flowers on trail. And as we've discussed in several videos earlier, I don't know my flora very well, but I can tell you about the fauna that we heard last night. The coyotes were absolutely talking. They were having a party. They were, I don't know, upset about something. It was just a little crazy. It sounded like they were about 100 yards from the shelter and from multiple directions, like they were, I don't know, having a camp meeting or something. I'm not sure. But they were very loud. They were yapping. They were howling. They were barking. I mean, like just every sound you could think of. And then what I find odd on trail is that the owls, they are our morning roosters. Usually about an hour before sunrise, about 5:30ish, the owls would just start going crazy. And they'll talk to each other. I don't know if they're upset or they're sharing food, or maybe they didn't get food last night. I don't know. But here's a little clearing over here. But it is very interesting how the coyotes will keep you awake until midnight or so, and then the owls wake you up at 5:30 or so. And so getting a good night's sleep has still been very, very difficult. And the sun, I'm going to blind you guys out for a second, but it's the sun coming through the forest of green. But yeah, we have 5 miles to the next shelter, or 12 miles. And then there's some campsites in between. I'd hate to just do 5 miles, but after yesterday, I am feeling a little bit sore. We both took some Advil for just all the aches and pains. And I don't know, we'll have to see where we go. We're probably a day behind the rest of the tramily with Rising Bear and Ibex and Mousetrap. I still got to get some service so I can check in with them. And Hoot is already left camp. I'm not sure where he's headed at today. And then we met some new people at camp. Miss Kim is on trail again with us. She was with us at Above the Clouds Hostel. I think she took us 0 on day 3 and we were there on our day 4. So we've roughly started at the same time. But she's just like me. She's a turtle, and she's well aware of that, and that is perfectly fine. But she's on trail. She's going to try to go the 12 miles today. She said it would probably take her about 10 hours. So that is her goal. I don't know if we have that in us right now. But we had breakfast. I had oatmeal. Eldon had peanut butter on top of her protein bar. And just trying to get food in us since we have food to eat. That's an interesting tree. Sorry. Had a squirrel moment there. But yeah, since we have food to eat, Sorry, I dropped my trekking pole. Here, I'll show you how we pick up trekking poles so we don't have to bend over on trail because our packs weigh so much. All right, 1 second. Doop, doop. All right, back on trail. But anyway, we've been trying to eat our food. I don't know if we can make it up to Miss Kim or not, but we're definitely going to try. Let me see if Eldon's caught up with me or not. Eldon took a break this morning. I don't know, we're probably 0.2 of a mile from camp, to be honest. And he had to shed his base layers. And he's not with me yet. Oh, I think I see him. There he is. There's my baby. He may be my baby because he sleeps like a baby. He wakes up every hour and rolls and turns and tosses and grunts, and then he might snore for 5 seconds, and then he's up again, tossing and turning and grunting, and he's freezing cold. For everybody who knows, he hates the cold, but that's why he was still wearing his base layers when we left camp this morning. I do have my puffy on still. It's probably 40-ish, but I'll be shedding that pretty soon. Great treadway so far coming out of camp. Love it. I'm sure we'll get into some inclines and some mountains today. I know there's an overlook somewhere, so obviously anytime there's an overlook, there's an incline. And I was calling these hills yesterday. I said, God, those are some really big hills. And someone at camp said, those aren't hills, those are mountains. And I'm like, yeah, they certainly are. But, all right. Happy trails, everyone. We're going to trug along. Yep, you read that right. They named a trail after me here on the AT. Thought I'd show you this beautiful icicle and what snow is left from, what, probably going on 4 days ago now. So some of the mountainside just doesn't get any sun. So we've had a guy the last 2 shelters. Eldon calls him Tarzan or MacGyver, but anyway, he's picked up icicles the last 2 days and carried them along so he can have ice for his wine to put in his cup. But what's funny is that he leaves them on the picnic table in the shelter and they don't melt very much. Like, it was still a very fat icicle this morning, so they actually used them to put out the fire this morning, set the icicles in the fire. But we still have a little bit of snow, though it's not going to be here too long because I bet it's already 60 degrees today and I just put my heel in mud, but that's fine. Ugh. All right, I will say that this section of North Carolina, which we've done probably about 3 miles-ish, has not been too bad, knock on a tree. It's been a little rocky, a little muddy, but most of the treadway has been like this. Sorry, gnat in my nose. But every once in a while, you still get a little bit of snow. So, the chunky girl, or chunky gal trail was hilarious. We've seen that on the Far Out app the last couple days, and I was like, I just can't wait to get to Chunky Gal because they named a trail after me. That was quite entertaining. There's been 3 or 4 trails that have come in onto the AT just in this short section of North Carolina. We have a little rock bridge here. But we're getting ready to go to Deep Gap, which does have a Forest Service road. So if you needed to get resupplied or need to go into a hostel, that's in about a mile, I think. I think we're going to take lunch there. So we'll see you down trail. Oh, We're almost to Deep Gap in North Carolina, and we've been walking across several of these beautiful waterways out of the mountain. But I think we're going to stop and get some water, so I'll show you what that looks like. So when we first started, we just used a smart water bottle, but at Mountain Crossing, we picked up the Sea-Knock bag with a Sawyer squeeze. And with that flow, it won't take very long to fill it up. And then we can either use the coupler to let it gravity fill into a bottle, or we can squeeze it into a bottle. Good job, babe. He's tired, but beautiful streams. It just goes and goes all down the mountainside. And then if you can see the road down there, that is the forestry road that goes into Deep Gap. So, all right. Are you ready? I'll carry it. 1 second. Okay. So we were talking about different things to put in the videos, and one of them was the different trail signs. So this one is 2 white blazes in top of each other, which means that there's a change in the trail. And then down here, I don't think you can read it, but it says Deep Gap AT North, and it has the arrow. But most of the trail only has 1 blaze. But if it has a double blaze, it means something's happening with the trail. I'll show you some different ones as we get down, but we are getting ready to take a break into Deep Gap after we got our water. I hear a hoot. All right. I don't know if you can hear them or not, but they're hollering at us.
Okay, I just like it, Oh, like the 99 bananas?
All right, looks like a good place to take a break. We're coming on to a bridge, like a real bridge that they've put over the top of this log. And how very interesting. Okay, so we have this little ravine waterfall coming down, and we got a bridge and a bridge. In the base of the bridge was a tree. There you go, babe. It's a bridge. Very interesting. First one I've seen like that, where it actually went over something that wasn't just a little step over a creek. So, we got a bridge. Oh, we have about a 400-foot climb in elevation over the next 9/10 of a mile before we get to our shelter tonight. And I don't know, it's like 2:30, so we'll be there long before dark and just take a little bit of a break. Eldon's feet are hurting him, well, pretty much everything from the waist down. And I did something to my shin climbing over a downed tree, and my shin bone feels like it's throbbing and swollen, though it's not really. So I hope I'm not getting shin splints or something. I don't know what I did. I didn't roll my ankle or anything that I'm aware of. I didn't hit it on anything. It was just the pressure of trying to hold balance on the side of this mountain to climb over a tree. But we had a nice little break with some fellow hikers, and they've already left us. Most of them were there probably 20 minutes before we were. But we're going to take this climb up and see where it takes us. It is nighttime on day 19 of our Appalachian Trail hike. Our blessing of the day was that the terrain was pretty flat. It didn't have any major ups or downs, and the treadway was decent. The challenge of the day was that we still had some aches and pains that we're getting over, and some new ones pop up every day. But it's a little after 8. It is bedtime. So good night, everyone.